What do you know? Sister Wives 19th season is getting closer to its September 15 premiere date. Fall brings not only football in general and Monday Night Football specifically, but Sundays also offer Sister Wives. If Sunday Night Football isn't your thing, you can watch Sister Wives on TLC starting at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, and 10 p.m. Pacific. TLC has now published fresh episode synopsis for the first 2 episodes of the season on its website. For those of you who watch in real time, the first episode, which airs on September 15, and the second, which airs on September 22, will be sort of fascinating since we'll be learning about Kody and the storyline is really behind schedule. The first conversation after the divorce between Christine, Kody, and Robyn. Thus, we avoided any one-on-one interactions between Christine and Robyn for the whole of season 18. Thus, they never appeared together on camera. Nothing, not even airtime, was shared by them. Hey guys, it's Selena here. Welcome to TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Though they were never in the same room, they were in the same season. After a brief encounter during which they had dinner or lunch and talked about real things, Kody called Christine angrily and declared that he wanted to spend some time detesting her. They will need to meet together this season to celebrate the birth of Mykelti's 2 new offspring, the twin boys. Okay, so this is episode 1 of season 12. Season 12, I suppose, is 19. A divided house cannot stand, it says. This is how the summary puts it. Uncomfortable things happen when Kody at McKinley's baby sprinkle, Robyn and Christine finally get to see each other after months apart. Meanwhile, Meri informs her pal Brandy that she's over Kody. Janelle discloses that she is considering purchasing real estate in Montana. Okay, this is fascinating. They therefore threw a few kid-focused parties. One of them seems to be centered around Mykelti's sprinkle throughout her pregnancy with her sons. I suppose having a sprinkling comes after having your first child. Because you don't need as much stuff, I suppose you have a sprinkler rather than a shower. I'm not sure. I was a single parent. If I'm mistaken, please correct me in the comments. Furthermore, Christine claims she won't be friendly with them based on the pictures, stills, and little teaser that we have seen. Because of the Mykelti there, Christine is in a difficult position. She also obviously has other children, thus Isabel is one of them. Additionally, Isabel and Kody are still together. Mykelti and Kody are romantically involved. Though perhaps not Peyton, I believe that the majority of her children do have a relationship with Kody. Though in my opinion Gwendolyn is estranged, she still needs to deal with them occasionally because at least some of her children still communicate with Kody. Additionally, as Christine currently resides in Utah, Kody and Robyn would need to go there in order to attend the joint celebration, as her residence is around 8 hours distant from Flagstaff. Thus, we witness them engaging in an awkward confrontation in the first episode. I wonder if it will be uncomfortable. Will anything be said, I wonder? Do they neglect one another, I wonder? I'm not entirely sure why, but they seem distant. It's strange, yes. And after that, we are introduced to Meri's newest buddy, Brandy. Alright, so it may be the blonde with whom she is sitting on the couch when she declares her intention to stay away from Kody. It's also noteworthy to see that Maddie and Janelle are considering Montana real estate. As of right now, I doubt they purchased real estate in Montana, because that is where they ultimately purchased their property. I think they did so in North Carolina. If my memory serves me correctly, Maddie and Caleb lived in Montana when they first got married, and she had always liked the state. However, it sounds like they are going to stay in North Carolina, and they want to build some really cool things on the 150 acres of land that they all bought together. Janelle, Maddie, and Caleb are from Montana. Thus, the season's opening episode will include an unpleasant exchange between those three, with Meri and Brandy having a conversation about Kody and Janelle, and Maddie discussing the purchase of a Montana home. I'm eager. There seems to be a lot of drama in that. Who else feels that the first episode is a sleep fest? Let's go on to the second episode. Let There Be Light is the title of episode 2. Additionally, it states that while Janelle and Maddie look at acreage in Montana, they are thinking about permanently leaving Flagstaff. She thus discusses purchasing land in Montana in the first episode. In the second episode, she and Maddie visit a Montana land sale. It's captivating. She lived in Utah when she first met Kody, and from what I remember, she moved to live on Kody's family's land in Wyoming at the dilapidated Dollar Ranch or whatever it's called. She spoke about living in a teepee in the book, and I recall that at the time she was very interested in Native American history and was attempting to return to her ancestral origins. She was really interested in spirituality, and although I'm not sure if she actually had any Native American lineage, she was channeling various spiritual paths. She does enjoy being outside. She is an avid hiker. Though I guess that's not where they land, Montana is a gorgeous state. The issue with these synopses is that we are aware in real time that she does not purchase real estate there. Kody then finds out that Mary is requesting a release from their church, which is their religion's equivalent of a divorce. This sort of gives me the impression that things could turn tense. It is necessary for them to go to a release. Recall that in the kidney episode, Robyn claimed that in legal terms, Christine wasn't divorced from Kody until she had slept with another man. She would also have to go to a release from the church to leave Kody's spiritual paradise, and the only way to obtain a release is to go through a lot of counseling and paperwork. It should be noted, however, that Robyn lied when she claimed that she had to go through this process when divorcing her first husband. Robyn was thus never married through the church. She could not have gotten married in a church because she was pregnant when she got married. She was not set in stone for all of eternity. She never had to do anything because her marriage was simply civil, meaning it was a true, legal marriage and not a spiritual one. As for Mary's release, I don't think they'll air it on the show in any way because this church is very closed off, and back in September 2023, they made a big deal out of saying that even though men were mistreating women, they still needed to stick with it. They are expected to resolve the issue. They even made a big deal out of how many men abuse their wives and how much domestic violence occurs in relationships, which is alarming, but they encouraged women to stay in unhappy marriages and not leave because getting a release meant that she didn't want to be bound to him for all of eternity. Given that Janelle and Christine never requested a release, Kody may have intriguing reactions to this even though, in his perspective, he and Mary had formally broken up. This is something that many polygamists do because he could still attempt to claim them for his afterlife. I don't know if he truly thinks that 3 wives can make a man into a god, but if he does, he may justify his belief by claiming that his 3 wives never asked for a release. He can then argue that since Christine and David's marriage was not sealed, it shouldn't be taken into consideration. It's just silly mental acrobatics, you know. But he'll undoubtedly become enraged if Mary is granted a release. To be honest, I'm curious to see what his response will be. It continues, Christine and Aspen host a welcome home celebration for Isabel. Thus, welcome home, Isabel and Aspen. Isabel returns to Utah to live with her mother and attend school there after attending a community college for a year in North Carolina. Although it doesn't sound like we'll meet David in the first 2 episodes, we will see Janelle begin to consider moving away from Flagstaff permanently, which is a wise decision given that we already know she's done. Because she doesn't desire a release, Kody doesn't provide it to her. She feels that she doesn't require a release. Furthermore, Kody never gave Christine a release. We also witness Christine moving on after her split from Kody and trying to adjust to life with her former spouse and his wife. I'm basically understanding that from that. Subsequently, Mary aimed to permanently stop her relationship with Kody and remove him from her life. I want to talk to you about Mary. Many of the ladies I've spoken with who have left this culture disagree greatly on what they want to do with themselves. Because they don't believe in it, some of them are not released. They respond by saying, "It doesn't matter to me. Anyhow, I don't think this is real. It's something that some guy in a church dreamed up. What occurs to me in my afterlife is not up to them to decide. My soul isn't owned by them. Surely it's merely a fake. What good is it then to receive a release from someone you don't genuinely respect as a leader or someone with authority over you if you don't believe in it?" Christine said as much. Why would I go to an authority in the church that is not my own and in whom I have no faith? It's absurd if it doesn't. And when you don't believe in it, having to go through those processes is intimidating. Some women will do it merely out of a desire to avoid having their husbands have any claim over them in the unlikely event that it is true. You understand what I mean? Whether it's true or not, some people follow through because they genuinely just want to be totally split off, legally and spiritually. Mary's decision to take this action tells me a few things. Mary does not want to be in any way connected to Kody. I take it Mary doesn't want Kody to be prancing about his circles, bragging about his wives. Some men, the prophet Dave Watson, for example, will say they have 8 wives, but I think he's lost at least 2 or 3 of them. He only has, I believe, 5 that are active right now. Thus, he asserts that the reason women have left him is not because he is with them, but rather because they never had a release from him. And he uses that as a number to gloat and boast, giving women the opportunity to be truly free of an ex who is constantly chasing them and trying to claim them even though they aren't theirs. In order to make a claim, one must follow Mary's instructions. Given that Mary still has kin in the church, it might be significant to her. Her mother placed a great deal of importance on this. It was very important to her father, and she might just want to take the necessary steps to be free. In that way, she takes that away from Kody, who has spent years trying to convince everyone that they are still married. Remember, Kody wanted her to pretend that they were still together, so this takes away one of his many badges of pride. He is not entitled to her. He is unable to control her. She uses it as a means of complete detachment from him and as a kind of retaliation. To be honest, I could understand Mary's motivation for doing this if I were her, especially considering how callously Kody had declared he didn't want Mary to have any claim on him. Callously, he filed for divorce, cruelly pushed her aside, mistreated her for years, and then declared that they would be together for all of eternity. He then had the audacity to declare in public that if you break your vows, you won't be together forever because, as we put it, the merits of your covenant and your sealing depend on your behavior. Therefore, Kody believes he gets to set the rules in the world where Mary lives. Furthermore, I believe that this is just another way for Mary to say something along the lines of, "Hey dude, you said this is how you get out of it, and you claimed that I didn't. I broke this, but I'm going to break it because, in many ways, Kody's repeated assertion that your actions and your unbreakable commitments are only significant in light of your behavior is just another way for him to determine that, although he doesn't count her, he still counts her." Mary is telling him, "I'm getting a release, so you don't get to count me. I'm all in for it." It's like spiritual retaliation. Kody won't likely enjoy it, in my opinion. To be honest, I don't, because it's work for him, it stains him, and it will make him appear bad. She will also report what he did wrong to the church authorities. She will explain to them why she is deserving of being freed. She'll probably say that he abandoned her. She is also entitled to neglect. She might even allege mistreatment, and he will appear terrible as a result of it all, both to the leaders and to the superiors. They won't be pleased with him either, and it will be less likely that he will ever return to the church. To get more wives, as they are unlikely to give you another one if you are unable to care for the ones you already have. Kody claims that he doesn't want any more. However, it's possible that they don't want him to have any more since she'll make him look bad in front of the police. Thus, I suppose it's kind of like this. I wish they would just be honest about it, but they won't. The second episode will contain Mary's retaliation. I truly took away from that what it was. What do you think of these summaries then? Do you anticipate it being a big sleep fest? What will be Kody's reaction? Are you looking forward to Mary getting her retribution? If you are looking for more sister wives gossip, come back to TLC Flicks for all your updates. Bye guys.